Hello, welcome to my channel. The star of today's episode is a standard African violet variety called Funambule. This is a very popular variety with the African violet growers, and I'm very lucky that I finally was able to get it for my collection this year, and I'm very excited to share it with you today. Funambule was hybridized by Robitaille and Croteau and registered with the African Violet Society of America in 2006 under the registration number 9660. This plant came to me from Fancy Bloomers a few months ago in July of 2020. Normally, African violet standards grow from 8 to 16 inches across, and this plant now measures about 9 inches in the diameter of the rosette. It is now growing in a 3-inch pot, and this pot is a yogurt container that I used as a substitute for the regular 3-inch plastic pot, and I do get creative like this when I run out of the standard plastic pots. The recommended pot size for adult standards is 4 inches, so as it keeps growing, I will pot it up a size. Funambule is famous for its excellent flat foliage, symmetrical rosette, and great flower count. The leaves are growing really flat, even though this plant is growing under a natural light and stands near the west-facing window. So it leans just a tiny bit towards the sun, towards the light, but the leaves are growing really flat. The foliage is described as variegated dark green and pink plain. The pink color in the variegation is mostly prominent in the center, and it looks creamy beige in older leaves. This plant is now at the beginning of its first blooming cycle. The blooms are described as semidouble dark blue pansies with white and pink fantasy. And I will include a few close-up pictures at the end of this video for you to see them in more detail. And I was so excited to see this plant when it just started to blooming true to the description, because the white and the pink fantasy is very prominent in the blooms. So I'm very thankful to Fancy Bloomers for having provided me with such an excellent strain of this variety. These are good sized blooms. They're about 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. And here they are in comparison to a dime coin. And the largest bloom here is about 2 inches at its widest point. The bloom stalks are not very tall. They are average in length, and they keep the blooms close to the foliage. And right now we have 5 bloom stalks. So this is a very good bloom stalk count for the first blooming cycle. And there are about 6 blooms and flower buds that are still closed and are opening up gradually on each bloom stalk. As I mentioned, this variety grows under the natural light only on the west-facing window, and the temperature ranges from 65 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter to 79 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer, and we are now in fall and the temperature is 77 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity is 42%. I grow it on a wick, like all of my other, or most of the other African violets and other gesneriad plants. And I use different fertilizers, which I add to the regular tap water. Sometimes I use 1/4 teaspoon per gallon of water of Dynagrow liquid plant food at 7:9:5 NPK ratio. And sometimes I use a different fertilizer, also popular with African violet growers, called Jack's Classic at 20-20-20 NPK ratio, and I use 1/8 teaspoon per gallon of water of Jack's Classic. So here it is again, the fabulous Funambule by Robitaille and Croteau. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay safe and be well. And if you'd like to stay tuned for my future videos, please subscribe.